Markout Mania. Markout Mania. Reviews and yelling, reviews and yelling. Markout Mania. Hola, amigos, and welcome to Mark Out Mania! I'm Droge Pedro Boyd, aka Texan Spaniard on Twitter and YouTube, and this is my podcast where I share my thoughts on pro wrestling, sports, TV, and other stuff. Last week, I covered part 1 of El Rey Network's Lucha Underground season finale, Ultima Lucha! And this week, we are going through part 2. So sit back and get ready, hashtag LuchaClick, because it is time for Ultima Lucha! Let's do this! Vámonos, amigos! And right off the bat, as if I wasn't hyped enough for Ultima Lucha, the opening video package highlighting all the matches to come tonight just put me through the roof. Holy moly, ravioli, jumping up and down in my seat, hyped for this. Kick-ass opening video for the big finale. Melissa Santos welcomes us, and then we see Matt Striker with Michael Chiavello? Of course, because Vampiro's fighting later. I didn't think about that at all beforehand, that there would be a replacement for him on this show. Huge props to Matt Striker for giving a nod to El Hijo de Paraguayo. May he rest in peace, God bless him. But it's time for the first match, which is Johnny Mundo versus Alberto El Patron. Excuse my language, but holy motherfucking shit, that was incredible. What a match. Alberto's intensity and rage, all the great action and near falls. Both guys using the announce table as a weapon, Mundo's escape under the ring, and Ultimo Guerrero reverse superplex, the dirt to the face, the stiff-ass beating they were laying into one another. This was such a kick-ass match. I was so into this. I became a little kid all over again because every time Alberto was on the offense, I was marking out like nuts. When Alberto survived that first end-of-the-world splash by Mundo, I was freaking out. But then Mundo pulled the referee in the way of that super kick, and I was like, oh no. But my marking out went to newfound heights when Alberto got that upside down cross arm breaker over the ropes like he used on Tejano in their bull rope match, but on Mundo. But then Melina, what the fuck? I was literally yelling that at the screen repeatedly. I was like, what the fuck, what the fuck? I haven't seen her in years. I thought she was like out of wrestling. She hits Alberto with the Triple A Mega Championship belt, and then another end of the world, and Johnny Puto gets the win. Boo! Boo! I couldn't believe it. I was in disbelief. Again, like I was like a little kid all over again. Like Demolition just lost the tag team titles to the Brainbusters on Saturday night's main event. I was like, what? Alberto lost? What? Oh man, but then El Patron interrupts their makeout session and destroys Mundo, and then with Melina watching on, throws Mundo through a glass window. Now my marking out has reached even never before seen freak out levels. Holy moly, Omega Supreme Breakdancing Mind Explosion Ravioli! Alberto gave Mundo payback and made good on his promise to rip Mundo's face off. Oh, I love the booking of this. It's classic, and it works so well. Alberto loses the match through shenanigans, but gets the real revenge in the end. We have to have a third match. Oh, my God. We need one more super epic between these two. So freaking good. What a match to kick off the finale of Lucha Underground. Incredible. Okay, now I have a confession to make. I do not get El Rey Network on my cable. Because of that, the only way I get to watch Lucha Underground is via Peeps posting the shows on YouTube. It is not the way I'd like for it to be, but it is what it is. This often affords me a lot of luxury in terms of when I want to watch the show, because I can watch it when I have time for it, you know. But it has drawbacks too, like, say, the Dario Cueto Dragon Azteca Black Lotus segment. The sound was all jacked up and then goes out completely, and I'm not entirely sure what all was said and happened. I know the Dragon Azteca was killed here, and Dario let out both Black Lotus and his brother Matanza, but I could not even mark out for all of it because I'm too frustrated by the technical issues. So lo siento, I don't really have much to say about all of that right now, but I hope someone else posts the the thing of it at some point so I can like see what all went down in that segment. But anyways, moving on. Up next, it is time for Cero Miedo, Vampiro versus Pentagon Jr. And sweet God Almighty, yowza, powza, wowza, what the Jiminy Cricket mind explosion, Markout Mania! This was freaking nuts. They went full-blown Japanese death match here. They used light tubes, thumbtacks, a table lit on fire, everything. Huge props to Matt Stryker on the commentary in this match because in the early goings, he really sold the injured neck of Vampiro so that when stuff was happening to him, no matter how protected maybe the stuff was, I was afraid for the man's life and well-being. Such a good job. Basic story here was Pentagon Jr. beat the fuck out of Vampiro with chairs. Ref stopped the match, and medics were taking Vampiro away, but Vamp got off the stretcher and came back, and all hell just broke loose. They used all the weapons I mentioned above, bled buckets, made carnage happen in the ring and all over the place. And then Vampiro let that table on fire, but it backfired on him because Pentagon put him through it and got the pin. Holy moly. Afterwards, Pentagon was calling for his master when Vampiro ordered him to break his arm. So Pentagon broke Vampiro's arm. What the sweet sarsaparilla? What the Then the biggest shocker of all, we find out that Pentagon Jr.'s master is fucking Vampiro. What the fuck? I did not see this coming at all. Like, at all. Oh my god. Vampiro was Pentagon Jr.'s maestro all along. That is insane. This has me thinking, though. If Pentagon is Vampiro's protege, and Prince Puma is Conan's protege, Season 2, Pentagon versus Puma. Because you know the Vampiro-Conan feud. Ooh, let that happen. Oh, man. I want to make a note of Vampiro's Antichrist Pope entrance. That was something. And also, I have to say, I loved all the shots of the crowd reactions in this match. It hid some of the weaknesses action-wise that was going on and popped the stuff that was happening by adding to the what just happened was fucking nuts factor. Excellent job with the editing there. Also loved some of the signs, especially someone had like a Pentagon Jr. like as a skeleton skull sign thing. It was like almost like a cutout of his head, like but giant. Someone made that and had in the crowd. Top marks to that fan because that was fucking awesome. This was a car crash. And I don't know what to say about it other than it was incredible. Ultima Lucha is owning the universe so far. After that was the Gift of the Gods match with, like 7 people. What a spectacular spot fist this was. So much fun. Everyone involved got a ton of shine in this match. Aerostar's dive from like the top of the building has to be the spot of the match by far. But there are so many amazing dives in this match from everyone. The only one who didn't do a dive was Big Rick, and he teased dives, but he never got the chance to. Daivari and Marty the Moth both made run-ins during this, which worked in terms of their storylines they had going on, and it gave them a moment on the show, so everyone got to be on the show in some way. I really dug that they seemed to be setting up Phoenix versus King Cuerno for Season 2 over the Gift of the Gods. We need that. In the end, Phoenix pinned Jack Evans to win the Gift of the Gods. Super fun match and a much needed palate cleanser after the death match before it. Super fun stuff. After that was Blue Demon Jr. versus Tejano. This was not really much of a match. It was an angle to show that Blue Demon Jr., who had feuded with Chavo Guerrero Jr. all season long, is now fully in cahoots with Chavito, who helped Demon get an unfair win. Not a whole lot happened in this wrestling-wise, but I kind of like what it sets up for Season 2. Also, the crew in suits was pretty boss. Definitely an improvement over their gangster looks. I think this was needed on the show to slow things down before the main event, because so much of the show up to this point had just been like non-stop through the roof stuff. You needed like a bit of a cooling down moment before everything was to get, molten all over again. So I think this was, however bad this may have been wrestling-wise or whatever, this was like a needed, moment on the show for a breather. But, of course, it is time, or it was time, for the main event. Lucha Underground title match. Champion Prince Puma versus Mil Muertes. And once again, forgive me for the language, but you've got to be kidding me. Ultimate super duper holy fucking shit maximum mark out fucking mania mind explosions to infinity and beyond. Sweet God almighty, holy moly ravioli. When El Jefe Dario Cueto says Ultima Lucha has to be topped with the best match in the world, then you get the best match in the world. This was unreal. These two went above, beyond, and past any expectations that I had for this. It was amazing, fantastico, magnifico, mind-blowing awesome. Puma pulled out some of the most ridiculous, impossible, acrobatic, like kung fu movie stuff I have ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen this stuff in like a wrestling match. It's just nuts. I don't even know how to begin to describe some of the moves Puma busted out during this match. Katrina was even used as a weapon by Puma against Muertes. That was awesome. This was such a war, and both guys threw everything under the sun at one another. They fought in the crowd. Puma got tackled off the apron onto the edge of a table, then powerbombed through the table for good measure. Muertes kicked out of the 630 splash, and Puma kicked out of the flatliner. I thought Puma had won the match with the 630 splash. I couldn't believe that Muertes was able to kick out. And then when, similarly, when Muertes hit the flatliner, I thought, oh, it's over. But no, Puma kicked out. What? Then the stiff hard shots and kicks all throughout the match. That mind-blowing avalanche flatliner to put Puma away at the end. Unbelievable. I can drop a million F-bombs and repeat constant babble and gibberish to describe how great this match was, but it will not do it proper justice. This was beyond belief incredible, and I just want to like watch it over and over again to make sure it was like for real, because it's so awesome. This was the main event of main events, and the only Lucha Underground and Ultima Lucha would have it. A gazillion 3,000 and infinity stars. A definite must-see match. And then there's the most comic book ending of all time. Dario Cueto and Black Lotus run with all the money and Matanza in a trailer and take off. There's that hoodie guy from the last episode. He puts on the Dragon Azteca mask. Phoenix drives off in a Firebird. Tejano in his truck. Team Havoc on their bikes. Drago flies off in fire. Aerostar flies like into space with rockets. Whoosh. Vampiro and Pentagon Jr. are going somewhere foggy and dark. Marty the Moth has Sexy Star like tied up in like in a cocoon and terrorizing her with talk about his sister. What the was that? And then there's Dario Cueto rubbing his head as if concerned his lights are going out, and then an evil smile before all the lights go out, and then to be continued. Does this mean season 2? Please, please say this means season 2. We have to have season 2. Oh my god, this was fucking awesome. What an end to Ultima Lucha. Amigos, if you have not seen this, then you must do anything possible to watch this. It is a must-see show for any and all wrestling fans, and it will not disappoint you in the slightest. Forget WrestleMania, NXT, blah blah blah. Ultima Lucha is the show of the year. You have to see this right now. Unreal, incredible, and awesome. Lucha, 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 lucha. So, that's it for Ultima Lucha. Next time here on Mark Out Mania, I'll be covering some football, aka soccer, and I'll be also taking a look at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion. Should be fun. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this show. You can follow me on Twitter at texanspaniard. Same handle on YouTube, and you can check out my art and music Tumblr at pedroboy.tumblr.com. Gracias amigos, gracias Lucha Underground, gracias hashtag LuchaClick. See y'all next time, and adios!